Hi everyone, this video is going to focus on moderate to intense Pilates exercises. Now some of these exercises may be a little too intense for you, and if that's the case, either stop what you're doing and take a regression, or you can let me know via email and I can direct you towards some of my easier workout videos. All you'll need for this series is a mat and a nice clear space around you, or you can also use a towel underneath your hips for one of the exercises. But as soon as you're ready, coming onto your mat, making sure that there's a nice free space around you, or there may need to be a bench or a table nearby so that you can get yourself up and down off the floor at different times during the exercise. I hope you enjoy it. So starting off, taking a nice space on your mat, we're just going to start warming up through the spine. And it's also going to give you an opportunity to find areas through your spine that you may be a little tight as well. So making sure that your feet are hip width apart, I'm going to start with a deep breath in, reaching the arms up overhead, and then I'm going to exhale out as I reach the arms around and roll down, knees staying softened, fingertips reaching down towards the toes. And then slowly rolling up, taking a nice breath in. As you roll up through the spine, reaching the arms right up and around towards the ceiling. If your shoulders don't like when you reach right up overhead, then just roll up to a standing position rather than reaching up overhead like so. So just coming up to standing with a nice proud chest rather than reaching all the way up overhead. So we're going to do two more here. Rolling down, you may feel stiffness through the back of your legs or feel tight through your mid-back. Use this time now just to have a little wiggle through the spine and find areas that you feel a little bit tight. We're going to do one last roll down, so coming down for the last time, stretching through the whole back of the body, and then coming all the way back up to tall standing. Now making sure that you've got a really good connection with your mat here. So I like to focus on those 3 points of connection through the feet. So the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Making sure that you've got a nice wide base of support to keep you nice and stable. And then we're going to start off with a squat movement. Now go as deep as you're comfortable to go. Don't worry too much about the back staying in a neutral position. You can round your back a little bit with these squats, but what I want you to focus on most of all is getting your hips right back behind you and bringing your chest forwards. So bottom goes back, chest goes forwards, and keep that weight through the full foot. So what I like to think about is keeping a little orange underneath each foot, right underneath the arch, and you want to be squeezing the juice out of that orange as you press away from the floor. A lot of the time people will say press through your heels, but I like to press through the whole foot so that you've got a really good connection with the ground and so that you're not clawing the ground with your toes. So we're going to do about 4 more here, squatting right down nice and low, and 3, and 2. Now don't get too excited because we're going to hold the last one down. So come down and hold. Now see here, my arms are reaching forwards. I'm going to row and rotate on one side, then row and rotate on the other side. So see, my arms stay reaching forwards, but I'm going to pull one elbow right back behind me and alternate sides. And see, I look over that elbow as I pull that elbow back behind. If you need a rest because those quads are getting tired, come up. Otherwise, come down for one more set. We've got 8 and 7 and 6. Twist through the spine. 5, keeping that whole foot on the ground, bottom back behind you. And 3, and 2, and one last one, and come all the way up to tall standing. Fantastic work. Now, from here, keep those feet hip width apart. We're going to come up onto the tiptoes with an overhead reach and lower the heels back down. So, lift up onto the tiptoes as you reach up overhead. This is a balance exercise as well as a calf exercise, and we want to be switching on through the whole back of the body or the posterior chain. Now, if you want this to be a little bit more intense, imagine that you're doing a big leap away from the floor. So squat down, reach the arms up high. Squat down, reach the arms up high. Come up onto the tiptoes. Winnie doesn't like these. Squat down and reach up high, otherwise just staying with those little calf raises. And remember, you can be holding onto the bench or the table if you're feeling a little bit unsteady here. We've got 4, making them dynamic if you want to, 3, and 2, And one last one, and resting there. Fantastic. Rolling those shoulders up, back, and down. And we'll do that one more time. Rolling those shoulders up, back, and down. Good work. Wiggle everything out. Give everything a shake out just for a moment, and then we're going to come right up to the end of the mat, because you do want a good amount of space behind you here. Now, if you are a little unsteady with lunges, you absolutely can use a railing or a table nearby. Otherwise, to test your balance, just use your own body weight without holding on to anything. I'll take you through one little level at a time and making it more and more progressive as we go on. So to start off with, a little step back with the right leg, return back together. A little step back with the right leg, step back together. So you'll see here I'm not alternating legs, I'm just staying with a little step back with the right foot and stepping the feet back together. Now you are more than welcome to stay with this. However, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, a long lunge back and step back together. A long lunge back and step back together. What I want you to focus on here is keeping your front knee tracking over your second and third toes, not letting that knee collapse inwards or outwards. Keep the chest proud and do not let that knee drive forwards over the toes. Again, think about that little orange underneath the arch of your foot. Long lunge back and return back together. Long lunge back. You can slow this right down if you need to. And if you want even more, lunge back, nice and low, sinking right down. Return back together. I think we're losing daylight here, but you should definitely be able to see everything that you need to be seeing in terms of the movement. Let's go 3 and 2. Now we're going to hold that last one back. So long step back and hold. Now my left leg is forwards, so I'm going to be twisting towards the left and return to standing. Twist towards the left, and I should say return to the front. Twist towards the left. Woo! Should be testing your balance here. One last twist to the left and return forward, stepping all the way back in. Give it a little shake out. Moving straight on over to the other side now. So now my right leg is going to be the forward leg, and I'm going to do a little step back with the left, return back together. Little step back with the left, return back together. So stay with this movement. If you want it to be a little bit more challenging though, longer step back, return back together. Longer step back, return back together. I did this one outside because it's a little bit cooler, but holy moly, it is still hot being outside here than upstairs in my little Pilates room. So staying with that right leg forwards, that left leg is taking a long step back. You should start to feel the whole right side of your body working. Long lunge back, return back together. We're going to do 2 more. Knee tracking over the second and third toes. And on this last one, come back down and hold. Now twist towards the right side and return to the front. Stay low with this one. The lower you go, the harder you'll be working. You can be holding on to a railing and just twist your right arm open out to the side. However, if you can, go for 3, return to the front, challenging that balance, and 2, and 1 last one here. Fantastic, and step back together. Give it a little shake out, give those legs a little bit of love. We're now going to focus a bit more on the glutes. I would suggest using something to hold on to if you are a little bit iffy with your balance. However, try your best. If you don't need to hold on to something, just really focus on a point that's a little bit away from you. I'm going to be starting off with my left leg on the ground. Balancing on the right leg, so you're going to bring that right leg up high, and then a little bow forwards, making sure that that left knee is only slightly bent, and return back up to a single leg balance. Bowing forwards, remember you can use a little chair or a railing near you, and return up to tall standing. You can put that right foot down at any time if you need to. Lots of things to focus on here. So I like to think about 2 little headlights on my hips, and they point straight down towards the floor and then straight towards the wall opposite me. Headlights pointing straight down towards the floor and return all the way back up tall. We're going to do 2 more on this side. Long bow forwards, And I want to come down so that my body is parallel with the floor and my leg is straight back behind me. One last one here. I'm going to come down and hold. Now test your balance here. See if you can reach your arms straight out in front of you. Spread your toes out if they're gripping the ground. We've only got 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting there. Fantastic work. Come on up. We're going to go straight over to the other side. So now we're going to really balance on this right leg. Standing on that right leg to begin with, and we're going to do a little bow forwards. Now the first one might be a little bit shaky. So if you need, remember, you can hold onto the railing or table, or even a broomstick next to you. Long bow forwards, return back up tall. Long bow forwards, woo, and return all the way back tall. Remember, you can put your left foot down now at any time if you need to. Long bow forwards. Check in with those toes, they should not be gripping the ground. And lean forward so that those hips are pointing like little headlights down towards the floor. Long bow forwards. Breathing in as you come down, exhale as you come back up. Let's do 2 more here. Long bow forwards and return up to standing. And on this last one, come forwards and hold. So your body should be parallel with the floor or as best you can. Then reach the arms, engage through the whole back of your body. We've got 3 and 2 and one last one, and coming all the way back up tall. Woo! You should feel those little glutes firing with that series. From here now, I'm going to come right up towards the end of the mat because I'm going to come all the way down to the floor. If you need to, you can use supports to come down to the floor, or if you want the more challenging way to come down, reaching the arms forward, bring them down to the ground, and slowly walk all the way out to a plank position. So you're going to come right down to the floor and then bring the knees down. From here now, we are going to go into a Superwoman exercise. So I've got my hands directly underneath my shoulders and my knees directly underneath my hips. From here, I am going to extend my left leg back behind me and my right arm straight out in front. From here, I'm going to hold. Now, this might be enough for you just to hold this position. However, if you want a little more, knee draws underneath towards your elbow, and extend all the way back out straight. Knee draws all the way underneath you towards the elbow and extend all the way back out straight. Draw the knee under towards the elbow and extend out straight. We've got one more here. Knee draws underneath towards elbow and extend all the way back out straight, and we switch sides. Right leg, left arm, reaching out straight. Now from here, scoop knee towards elbow and reach all the way back out long. Scoop knee towards elbow and reach all the way back long. We've got 3 to go. Knee towards elbow, reaching out long, and 2. Knee towards elbow, reaching out long, and one last one here. Knee towards elbow and reach all the way back long. Wag your tail, give it a little bit of movement from side to side. And now from here, with your hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips, I'm going to give you a couple of options for this next exercise. So my toes are tucked here, as you can see. You've got a couple of options. From here, you can either keep your feet flat on the ground and push your hips back towards your heels and return back to a 4-point kneeling position, gently going back towards your heels and returning forwards. That might be enough for you today to get some nice movement through your knees. However, if you would like a little bit more, tuck those toes and lift your hips high up towards the ceiling, looking back towards your toes, and then tap your knees down on the mat. And again, press through the heel of your palm, lift your hips high up towards the ceiling, and then lower those knees all the way back down. A little progression here. Lift the knees off the mat and reach towards your opposite shin, and then place those knees back down. Lift the knees off the mat and reach for the other shin, so alternating sides, and knees return back down to the mat. So stay with these alternating sides, or stay with the initial movement of just pushing your hips back towards your heels. You've got 10 seconds left, alternating sides. 1, then the other, We're going to do, after this one more on each side. So 2 repetitions to go. Lift the knees off the mat and reach for the opposite shin. You might find that you can get lower and lower down the limb. And one last one to my right shin there. And lower those knees back down. Fantastic. Give it a little wiggle through the hips. And then just to get some nice movement through that lower back, we'll arch the back high up towards the ceiling. And then arch all the way back through the other way. And we'll do that one more time. Arching the back high up towards the ceiling like a little scaredy cat. And then arch the back all the way through the other way. Nicely done. Okay, for this one, I'm going to lie down on my back. So, from here, just make sure you can see me. Okay, for this one, lying down on your back. Now, if your neck is uncomfortable in this position, you may prefer to have a little rolled up towel underneath your head here just to support your neck. However, if you're comfortable with your head on the ground, come along and follow me when you're ready. I like my heels to be just out of reach of my fingertips, so I can almost just feel my fingertips if I lean to the side. We're going to start off with squeezing the glutes, arms reaching down by the sides and doing a little hip lift and return the hips all the way back down. Now, everyone's a little different here, and some people feel a little bit of tension through their lower back. So I would suggest only lifting as high as you feel fine through the lower back. If you start to feel a little bit of discomfort at this height here, only lift to that height and lower straight back down. Any movement is going to be fantastic for the back as long as it's not causing discomfort as you lift beyond your comfortable area. Lifting all the way up and lowering all the way back down. We're going to do 2 more and then we're going to add a little bit of spice to it. So second last one. And then on the next time we lift up, I want you to lift up and hold. So now here I'm really squeezing my glutes. I'm feeling the whole back of my body engaging. And I'm going to lift my left leg out straight. So my right glute is working hard now. This might be enough for you just to hold this for a moment and then place that foot back down. However, if you can, bring that left leg straight up and down. Now, as you lower that leg down, point the toes. As you lift up, flex the foot. Point the toes, lower down, flex the foot, lift back up. Point the toes, lower down, exhale, leg up. Inhale down, flex foot, exhale, lift up. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and one last one. And lower that leg back down. Have a little breather for a moment. Lower those hips to the ground. Then, when you are ready, we're going to lift the hips back up high to your comfortable level. Hands down by sides. Right leg long and extended. Point the toes to lower, flex and lift. Point the toes, lower. Flex the foot, lift. Now, aim to keep your pelvis as steady as possible, not shifting from side to side, and bring your attention to that left glute. If you're feeling your hamstring muscles, the back of the thigh, working a little too much, bring your heel a little bit closer to your bottom so that you bring that focus to those gluteal muscles. And if you feel your knee wavering all over the place, think about squeezing your quad muscles a little bit too, your thigh muscles, and that should help stabilize that thigh. Last one, lower that leg down and bring your hips to the floor. Rock those knees from one side all the way over to the other. Arms nice and wide like a capital T, and looking over one shoulder as you rock over to one side. Look over the other shoulder as you rock over to the other side. And then hug your knees nice and close just for a moment. All right, we are nearing the end because we are running out of daylight, very much hitting sunset, but we're going to go through a quick ab series here. Now, bring your fingertips, fan them out nice and wide, and find your hip bones, and then walk in just a tiny little inch so that you feel the nice tummy muscle wall that goes right from one side to the other. And you can joke as much as you like that there are no abs there, but there absolutely are. They might just be a little bit hidden or a bit deeper to find. What I want you to do here is to press firmly down so that you can feel a good connection with those tummy muscles. And then from here, you're going to bring one leg up as you tighten those muscles underneath your fingers, and then place that foot down on the floor. So I want you to think about switching those muscles on first, and then bringing one leg up to a tabletop. So switch those muscles on and exhale as the leg comes up to tabletop. Inhale to place the leg back down. Exhale to bring the leg up tabletop. Inhale to place the leg back down, alternating sides. If you are ready for a little bit more of a challenge, you can bring up one leg, tighten the muscles below your fingertips and bring the other leg up as well. And from here, tap one set of toes to the ground, return that leg back up and alternate sides. So one side down, return it back up, then the other. Now if that feels okay, then just persevere with this one, thinking about tightening that wall from one hip bone all the way over to the other side. Now we are going to progress this exercise. So if you are up for a little bit more of a challenge, roll up, look towards your inner thighs, and we're going to reach one leg low, return that leg back up, lower the other leg down, and return back up. Sorry, puppy. Alternating single leg extensions. And look out for little rogue spoodles. One leg lowers down, return back up. Other leg lowers down, return it back up. We've got 10 seconds left here. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and one last one. Both feet to the ground and rock those knees from one side all the way over to the other. We have one final exercise, which is focusing on our oblique muscle fibers. Now from here, if you've got any neck issues, feel free to leave this exercise out. However, leave your head in your hands. So your head is perfectly cradled into your hands. Then from here, we're going to do a little roll up and reach towards the outside of the opposite leg. Little roll up and reach towards the opposite leg. So this is level 1. You do not need to take this option if it's too much. You can also just stay leaning on your mat and do a little reach from one side over to the other. That might be enough for you today. However, a little roll up, lifting shoulder blades off the floor. And if you are talking, it shouldn't sound like your voice is strained. So you should be really able to lift up through your torso and not feel any kind of pull on your neck. Now, level 2 is when the legs are going to come up. So lift one leg as you roll up towards the side. Lift the other leg as you roll up towards the other side. And then level 3, to finish off, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring both legs up and extend the opposite leg to the side that you're twisting towards. One side, all the way over to the other side. We've only got 10 seconds left here and your tummy should be working. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and one last one. And rest those feet on the ground. Extend those arms all the way up overhead and just enjoy a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale all the way out through the mouth. And do that one more time. Deep breath in through the nose. And exhale all the way out. Bringing those arms to a capital T. And then take your right leg and bring it right up and over to the left side as you look over the right shoulder. And then return that leg down. This time bringing the left leg over as you look over towards the left shoulder. So alternating sides. As the right leg goes over, look to the right shoulder. And as the left leg goes over, look over towards the left shoulder. When you are ready, hug those knees into your chest. Use them to let you roll up into a seated position and then come on over to all fours. And we're going to finish off with a child's pose. So bottom goes right back, arms reach forwards, stretching through the upper body. Fantastic work, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know if you really did, if you found it too easy, you'd like some more challenging videos, or if you would like some easier Pilates videos to work with. I will be sending out an easier exercise video next week. I hope you enjoyed it and stay safe during these tricky times. Bye.